Folks, this is Friday, April the 2nd of 2021, and I'm looking at something rather disturbing. And maybe, a portion of you heard about it, maybe you haven't. I don't know if you believe in it, but I just posted a video a bit ago about it, and it's pretty much to do with microchip. They're saying the United States government are trying to pretty much cover it up, say that there's no such thing. They've been trying to say this since the Obama era, that it doesn't exist, and blah blah blah. And I'm here to set the record straight that there is such a thing out there. It's been implemented by the World Health Organization, the CDC. Even Bill Gates won it, and some of these other bigwigs. But the real reason why I've got this video playing is because this chip. I don't know when this was published, but it's on change.org if you want to check it out. And it states the UN and USA are trying to implement a law that requires everyone worldwide to be implemented with an RFID microchip. They're trying to make it out to be a good thing for us, stating that it will make life easier and also reduce crime, because no one will be able to make a move or speak without the government knowing about it. However, this chip is just another method of government control and a step closer to the new world order. With this RFID chip, all of our money, information, medical history, and everything will be programmed into this chip. There's no need for social security card, birth certificate, ID cards, driver's license, credit card, debit card, bank account, or anything. All this information will be implemented on an RFID chip, and the government will have the right to withdraw money from your RFID implant for money you owe them anytime they want, with or without your consent or knowledge. This will also enable the government to track you at any given moment for any reason, or with or without your consent of knowledge. The RFID chip is also a microphone so that the government can drop in and listen to you anytime, anywhere, for any reason, and you guessed it, with or without your consent or knowledge. And what's the best part of it? If you refuse to be implemented with the RFID chip, the government will deactivate your chip and you will have nothing. No social security, no birth certificate, no money, no nothing. Without the RFID chip, as far as the government is concerned, you do not exist and you cannot be an American citizen. Now, because they are trying to make this worldwide requirement, you will not exist, period. There will be nowhere you can go. You will have no money, no place to live, no vehicle, no family, nothing. Now, I don't know about you, but to me, this does not sound like a good thing. Please reject this law. Protest against it. Let them know that we will not be tagged like animals and treated like property. If we don't stand up for our rights and freedom, no one will. We cannot just sit back and let this happen. Google RFID chip to research for yourself. They have already implemented the military and government officials with this chip, but there is say that they're untouchable, meaning that they cannot and will not be required to adhere to the same laws and policies that we are required to, and thus will be shot or otherwise done away with because they refuse to comply. There's two sides to this fence. On one side, you have to have the government elitists and military. On the other side, there's us, the retarded cattle, as they think of us. Personally, I don't want to be on either side. I don't want to be on the fence where we're all equal, free, and respected. If you want the same and are opposed to this RFID chip, stand and be heard. One person cannot change the world, but if we stand together, we will win. We are one, and as one, we cannot be defeated. So, what I've been seeing is pretty much the same thing in that article I just reported earlier. This is pretty much what they're trying to do right now. And apparently this was 9 years ago. This was published. But take a look at the other video that I just posted. Do some research on this chip. If you don't want to believe anything that I'm saying is the truth, then go Google it. Go look it up. This is not a good thing. Because, for one, if you refuse to take this, you're either going to be put into a camp waiting execution because you're no longer considered as a United States citizen. You're no longer considered as anything. You have no money, no family. It's almost like they push a button and they erase you. So what good is a social security card going to do you? When they implement this, what it's going to do, it's going to force millions and millions of people to take the chip. They're going to disguise it like they're trying here. But don't believe these fact checkers that you keep hearing about. These fact checkers, I'm going to tell you a little bit about them. These fact checkers are from China. These Chinese, based sites that are off Reuters, .com or whatever you want to call that article. They write articles, and then you've got Snopes.com and some of these other ones. Do not be listening to that kind of garbage. That's Chinese propaganda they're feeding you. I'm not doing this to be, fearful of anybody. I'm not trying to spread fear. I'm trying to wake people up. I've been seeing this for a long time. Edward Snowden, he's been blowing the whistle a long time on this. If you recall, during the Obama era, the man was threatened and he had to flee to Russia. He fled to Russia to openly protest about what was going on here in the United States, about what was going on with our federal government. I do believe that this year may be the year that we end up with that chip, or in the coming future. But, I've been reporting on this several times. I've been trying to get it out there. And there is such a chip called an RFID chip. When, for instance, like right now, when you go out, and get an animal, get a cat or dog, They tell you get that animal chipped. That chip is the same thing. They are going to treat you as cattle. You either do as we say, or we make you pay with consequences. You lose your money. You lose your home. You lose your financial. You can't get into a bank and withdraw money to survive on. You can't eat. You can't drink. You can't even go anywhere and talk to a friend without the government listening in on you. Your cars will be automatically RFID chipped. They could be right now. We don't even know. And what it basically means is you're not going to be able to drive that car without that chip. You go into your house, you try to unlock your door. And I've seen some of these demos where they've already got it in some of these countries. Cannot even unlock a door without that chip. You can't take a shower without that chip. You can't open a refrigerator door without that chip. Turn your lights on without that chip. There's nothing that you can do without that chip, is what they're pretty much saying. Why do you think they're talking about these smart guns and everything? What do you think a smart gun has in it? For all those that you want to take our Second Amendment away, what do you think they have in them? It's called a radio frequency identification device. It's a small chip. It's about the size of a grain of rice. What do you think your credit card or debit card has in it? You aren't safe. They know your location. They know how much you've got in your bank account. That's all they've got that for. But you add a person's medical background. You add their license plate information and all that. Insurance, financial. Add what party that you're coming from. Then it becomes a dangerous threat to society in general. You just simply cannot live without that chip, is what they're basically telling you. They implement this in the law, and what's going to happen is it's going to be mandatory nationally, globally. You won't have a choice. Take the chip, have your life erased. They haven't done so much talking about it, but it is behind closed doors they're talking about it. Just not to the generalized public. There are bits and pieces that are slowly piecing together. But like I said, you won't be able to do anything. You won't be able to even drive. It will be prohibited that you go into a store to buy groceries. You will not be able to buy. You will not be able to sell, trade, or anything. They'll make life on earth a living hell on you. What you do today, you won't be able to do tomorrow. Like right now, I'm sitting right across from a Comfort Suites. You won't be able to walk in and say, hey, I want a room. Well, that's great. Can I see your RFID chip implant? You don't have it. How are you going to get a room? You go to a car wash like I'm seeing right now. I want to get my car washed. Well, that's great. Where's your RFID chip implant? You go to a car insurance place of business to pay your bill or to get car insurance or to get health insurance. Well, that's great. Where's your RFID implant? You don't have it, you don't get nothing. I've even seen it on these toilets. How you going to take a crap if you can't, go use the toilet? How you going to turn your water on if this damn chip controls it? Get ice out of the ice maker. Let alone how you going to cook. You'll end up having to go back to all the way to the 1800s. Do things that way. They're going to make it so tough on you, you're not even going to be able to get nothing. Facebook, they'll track that. They're tracking that all the time anyway. They're tracking Instagram. They're tracking your iPhone. When this pandemic hit, I opened my iPhone up. Next thing I know, they snuck a little sneaky thing in there that is keeping track of COVID. Are they really keeping track of COVID? You're asking me, are they really keeping track of that? Really? Seriously? No. They don't want to keep track of just COVID. They want to keep track of you. They want to keep track of your movements and declare you a criminal. All this mask mandate is just a ploy for government control. That's all it is. And here where I'm at right now, we're getting ready to end this mask mandate. We've had enough of this mumbo jumbo bullshit that Biden and Harris like to spread, and Fauci, the Democratic moron, says that now you gotta wear 2 to 3 masks, maybe 4, maybe 5. I don't think he knows himself. This guy is a mumbo jumbo of stupidity. Biden's stooge. And I know those of you love Biden that supported him. But look what's going on at the border right now. Look what's going on. Why do you think he's doing what he's doing? He has got an influx of migrants that are flooding this country deliberately. Do you know why he's doing it? They want more Democratic voters. They want to turn all 50 states into Democratic states. That way they can implement their new so-called gun control laws, their new smart gun control laws, and all this other crap. They're busing these immigrants to nearby Democratic cities, and they're busing them to Republican cities. They don't care. They don't care. They have a maximum of 2,500 in these tents at the border. They check them out and whatnot. Give them a green card. Say, welcome to the United States. We'll have you out here in a few hours. And what they do is they bus them up in the buses, fly them to a nearby city, or put them on a damn bus and send them to a nearby city. It's all over the United States, and they're slowly draining our resources. All this is just for government control, people. That's all it is. Now, whether you find this information useful, I don't know. I just want to be the one that reports it. I want people to check it out. If they don't want to believe me, that's fine. But don't, criticize me or anything like that. Because I do believe that either this year, It might be 3 months. It might be 6 months. It might be a year, 2 years, 3, 4. We need to be on the lookout for this. This is a very deadly cat and mouse game that the government is now playing with us. We're not cattle. We're not going to be treated as cattle. I will not be treated as a cattle because I refuse to take it. If I had to live in the 1800s like they did, I'm not afraid of that. I will not be controlled like that. I'd rather die than be placed into control like that, like a puppet, like someone pulling strings on me. But I hope this video finds, ears and eyes, and it's informative. But check it out. Don't take my word for it. Stay safe out there. Don't let the government try to fool you. Ronald Reagan once said that a bigger government has more control and is more dangerous the more freedoms that you give up to them. Don't give your freedoms up, people. I don't care what side of the party you're coming from, if you're the left or you're right. We're American citizens. We're not fucking cattle.